So today I'm sitting in Bali, but I had such a hard time getting here until I learned a couple principles, which I am gonna share with you today, that literally changed the game for me. And no other online coach or copywriting coach or anything like that is sharing what you're gonna learn in this video. So I highly recommend that you actually watch this. The first point is that most people, when they're sending outreaches, they're sending the same copy paste DMs. Everyone sends copy paste DMs. And so they try to send maybe like 10 to 20 copy paste DMs a day. But if they started doing this other way, it would literally change the game for them. Because the truth is that there are people sending 10,000 copy paste DMs a month through Instagram bots. And so you can't really compete if you are sending like 20 DMs a day. But you can actually compete if you start doing 5 DMs a day. But it has to be a special kind. It has to be high value outreaches. So you need to start sending outreaches that have taken a bunch of effort to get going. What that really means is that, let's say you're again a copywriter or you're a video editor. If you're a copywriter, then you need to start sending up like a free email with a video explaining why you made that email. If you're an editor, then you need to send a free edit explaining why you made that edit, and then you need to send 5 of those a day. And this is like, you need to do this because if you're in the gray zone between sending 10,000 copy paste DMs, doing super high value, if you're in the gray zone of sending maybe like 20 to 100 DMs per day, you are most likely just going to get absolutely ignored because again, their inboxes are just getting spammed, and you don't have like the upside of doing potential volume, and you don't have like the upside of having like the super personalization. Now, the next thing I wish I'd known is that you need to think about this when you're outreaching. What most people do is that they'll just send a message, they will have their outreach message, and that's just that. But there's one main thing that people are missing is that whenever you send an outreach message, somebody clicks on your profile. And when they click on your profile, what they actually see is the most important part of this entire experience. You know, most people, they'll start sending messages and they won't really care about getting set up a landing page or doing content because like, oh, I'm just sending messages. I'll just close them in the DM. But your landing page and your profile is the main criteria for if someone is willing to respond to you or not, right? So if you don't have like a landing page that explains your offer, VSL, and just showing yourself on camera, you are setting yourself so far back because business owners will check this before replying to you. So you need to do content or you need to set up a landing page, but not in the way that like, oh, someone's gonna organically come through it. It's in the way that whenever you're sending outreach, it's gonna be a boost. It's a huge boost. It's a necessary thing. And it's why if you're not seeing success with your online business, it's because you're not doing this, right? So you need to have a landing page, you need to have like short form if you're doing YouTube, and whatever. The most recommended is just to do some YouTube content that actually explains what you're doing at depth. So if you do copywriting, then explain, you doing copywriting or some kind of guide, because if you're able to explain something at length, that gives you a lot more credibility, and it is super important. So the next thing is just something that the coaches will not tell you, and please understand this dearly. Essentially, when you are trying to start from zero, is that most people fucking suck. If you're watching this and you're starting from zero, you probably actually suck. And so if you don't stop sucking so much, you're never gonna get clients. So if you don't have case studies, any kind of client results, you're gonna continue suck and you're gonna continue to not get clients. So what are you gonna do about it? Well, it's the one thing that everyone tells you not to do. It's just to do free work. You have to do free work, because this is what gets your foot in the door for potential clients. It's what gets you the reps, so you actually become good at what you do, and it's what gets you the client testimonials and results that you need in order to actually, understand what you're doing. Because if you've never done it before, how can you sell something that you don't know like if it even works? It's quite unethical, honestly. And so if you start doing it where, of course, you're offering your service for free and you land a couple of people for free, then you can start, increasing your prices. You can start asking for money. So the next person can be like, hey, I'm offering my service at 80% off, and then you get another person in, and the next one is, hey, I'm offering at 60%, 40%, and you want to just continue to slowly raise your prices. But in the beginning, you want to start off for free, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. Like, how can you sell something you don't even know if it works, bro? So yeah, that is my number one piece of advice. It's so important. And if you're not doing this, like you're really, really slowing yourself down because everyone else is trying to outreach with no results. They don't know what they're doing and they're just waffling and everyone sees it. The business owners can see it, right? You need to see this because they are like business owners. Like they're pretty competent. They can see when somebody knows what they're doing and when somebody's just talking shit, even if they're not educated on that specific subject. And the last part of this is that let's say you're a copywriter. If you do copywriting, then at all costs, do not outreach to coaches. I'm telling you this, it is the worst thing. You need to outreach to this different target audience, which is so much better because if you're outreaching to coaches, the main mistake you're making is that they have so much attention, 99% of them, and their inbox is literally flooded. It's literally flooded. And you also have to sell them on needing copywriting. So they might not even know how important copywriting is, but this other target audience, all you have to do is sell yourself. You don't actually have to sell copywriting. And so the main thing about coaches is that they have the attention. And that is the thing about copywriting is that if you're trying to work with somebody who isn't getting attention and getting eyeballs on their offer, you can't help them because what you do is optimize. You don't actually start getting demand for them. So please start outreaching to agencies instead. And this is super important because agencies understand that they need copywriting and they need script writers, right? If you're a copywriter, I recommend also doing script writing. It's super, there's a lot of demand for it, really. So please, don't do it. Start, going to places like Upwork, even start going directly to agencies like handing in like assignments and shit, right? And then start just really shifting your focus to working with people who understand that they need your offer and they are like the inbox isn't fully filled like all these other coaches. Like you will not, like if you've seen the inbox of a coach, you will not understand, like it will blow your mind. And so many people who all just suck. And the last and most important thing when you're starting to actually try to make it to Bali like I am right now, I mean, this depends on you, but this has wasted so much time, right? So when you start something, when you try to win at anything, there's one skill you need. There's one thing you need to be able to do. And if you don't have this, like you're not going to make it. And essentially, it's just about, like let's say you have to do outreach. Are you showing up every single day and doing that outreach? And so this is really just about understanding that if you're not showing up every day, you're gonna fail. I don't know how else to say this to you. You need to drill this into your mind because if you don't understand this fully, you're just gonna fail. If you're not showing up every day, you're going to fail. Like bottom line, that is the bottom line of winning at everything, is that you need to do this because other people are, and you need to get lucky. So you need to show up every single day to actually start being able to harbor that luck. So really think about what is the work that you have to do, and then sit down and do the work every single day. Send that outreach every single day without fail. And the way I started to be more consistent is that I did it as the first part of my work session. So every day, let's say, I wake up and I work immediately. The first thing I would do is outreach. Or let's say, because I was working a 9 to 5 still, then I would get home from my job and the first thing I would do is send outreaches because it is the highest leverage activity, meaning it's the most important thing that you can do. And it's not even close. But the thing is, it's physically impossible to get clients if you're not outreaching. So it's the most important thing, right? But if you're watching like YouTube videos, like that's not going to get you clients, right? So focus on the most important thing, in the work, right? Even if those YouTube videos are about copywriting, they're still not as important as outreach. That should be super valuable for you because again, people don't talk about that. And so yeah, that was it for me. Peace.